Hey guys, Batchy here, at work. I'm clocked out. Now I can talk to you guys. I wanted to do a review on this car. Did some exhaust work on it, but boss does not want me filming customer cars, even with their permission, so we're not going to be doing that today. I'm off the clock, working on my own stuff. I got a Power Wagon on the lift. For those of you that don't know what the Power Wagon is, it's got a factory winch. Comes right from Chrysler like that. It's a Warren winch. It's got a 15,000 pound capacity. This front bumper is a Fab 4 off-road front bumper. Front bumper's 300 pounds. Pretty heavy duty. Never even, it's actually got, I never realized, it's got a spot for fog lights. If I decide to keep it, I'm definitely gonna put the fog lights on there. But you know, it's got the diff protector. It'll focus, you can see it. All heavy duty, upgraded steering. Bump stops, aftermarket, high mech, transmission pan. It's actually deep sump, and I've got the trans temp gauge installed as well. Keep an eye on it while towing, but this keeps the tranny much cooler. Aftermarket muffler, custom lift kit. We rebuilt the leaf packs. We got a high mech diff cover on the back as well. She's actually super clean under here. It's been painted and undercoated. You know, frame is in great shape. I mean, even the rockers and stuff, the inners, they're great. Tiny little bit of surface rust right there, but nothing crazy. So for today, about to pull the wheel off. We're going to be changing the exhaust manifold. You can kind of see. Now, I know no one ever is excited about broken exhaust manifold bolts, except I am, because I want to show you guys my tricks to getting them out. I can already see that exhaust manifold bolt right there is broken, and there's some kind of spring thing going on here. I don't know what is going on with that, but I'm gonna take this these bolts out here for the Y pipe, and then I'm gonna pop this tire off, and we are gonna take out this plastic inner liner on the fender, and we're gonna get at all the bolt holes for the most part through this wheel liner, and then we're gonna see how many broken studs we got, and I'm gonna show you guys a great trick on how to extract broken studs. I apologize, I'm sweating like crazy. It is only 77 degrees in the shop, but let me tell you what, it feels like about 107 degrees. It's very humid. I'm sweating like crazy. Great day to get greasy and work in a tight space. I should probably pull my fan out from wherever it is here, but I'm gonna break these bottom bolts loose, and then I'm gonna pull the wheel, pull the inner fender, give you guys a quick view of what's going on, and then yeah, talk to you guys soon. Alright guys, tires off, inner fender is out. Cut the bolts on the back. I lost my flashlight. Oh, there it is. Okay, cut these bolts. Of course, I wanted them to fucking break, right, the one time. They were just spinning and spinning. I said, fuck this. We cut that. Get the shield off here. You can see this manifold is behind this shock strut tower. So once I get that shield off, give you guys a better look. See how many broken studs we got. Sweating like a whore in church. Okay guys, as you can see, I've lost my hat because, well, I mean it's right here, but I'm sweating. It's hot. I'm fat. This shit sucks. I'm sweating like a snitch. Yeah. Show you real quick one reason why I like to wear gloves, because, you know, I'm going reverse MJ over here. I mean, I'm covered in grease. My hands are perfectly nice and clean, but my arms are disgusting. And that is because I've undercoated this truck a few years in a row. At my work we use NH oil undercoating. So as you can see where my arm's been rubbing right here, see how it's nice and shiny? That's because the undercoating keeps the frame protected. And you can see right here where the tire rubs the control arm, how it's shiny. But over here it's kind of like a dull. The undercoating keeps the frame from rusting. Here we are. Got this manifold in there, you can kind of see it. The camera's not really focusing. There's a better shot. I've gotten all the bolts loose, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna it's just from touching my flashlight. Are you kidding me? Fuck. I'm gonna glove back up and we're gonna show you the two broken exhaust manifold studs, and I'm gonna show you how we're gonna extract them. So get a little light back on this. Alright. Alright guys, manifold's out. You can see we got the, got my flashlight. This is the old one here. It's all rusty. It's a new one here. Nice, it's silver. So, I mean, the old manifold doesn't actually need replacing. I looked at it, there's no cracks in it, which is good. You know, the manifolds, it is common for them to crack. Getting hot and cold, hot and cold, hot and cold, and you get stress cracking. The gasket was blown out right here on the back, and it's right where the two bolts were broken, so that's where the leak was coming from. As soon as it warmed up, it went away. I could save some time, or money rather. I could save money by returning that, you know, 150 bucks, but whatever. I got it off. I'm gonna replace it. The other side's already new, so I can say it's got two new exhaust manifolds. I do have someone interested in it. Got the new gasket. New gasket here. It's triple layer, multi-layer. It's got steel, and then a nice new heat shield for it. And whether or not I need them, I always replace hardware when I'm doing exhaust manifold replacement. You know, I'm pretty good at getting old bolts out, but always get the black, you know, factory hardened steel ones. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4 for the middle. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like a fifth. I might have an extra here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, no, so there's 5 in the middle. And then you got 1 on each corner that holds the new heat shield. But, alright, so let's show you what we're working with here. I can't really get my camera in there too well, but you can see, is this all the way up? On the back hole here, Alright, so that top one, the bolt hole right there, the stud's broken off flush pretty much, a little bit in there. That bottom one, right there, the stud is actually broken off pretty, it's definitely inside that hole. Come on, focus. So, oh, there we go. You get the idea. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to clean them up. I'm going to clean all these holes up with a little Scotch-Brite pad on my grinder. You have to be very careful with aluminum because you can dig holes with it and not have a flat mating surface anymore. I'm, you know, not claiming to be the best, but I've done this many times, and I'm pretty decent at, you know, cleaning that surface without digging grooves into the head, because if you do that and you dig too far into it, you're not going to get a good surface to, when you put the exhaust manifold back on, you could have a leak. Alright guys, so just getting set up to extract those two broken studs. I don't know how, but you know, usually as the day goes on, it's supposed to get colder, you know, right? Well, it has gone up a degree. It's 7 o'clock. It is still hot out. So for those of you that are wondering how I plan on getting those two studs out, I got this area is all cleaned up, nice and shiny. As you can see, I got, the light is kind of blinding. It's cleaned up in that hole, and it's nice and shiny where the broken stud is. I can't really see too well. I try to make a chamfer almost around the hole where the stud is broken, so that there's not material blocking the stud from coming out once I extract it. For those of you wondering why the welder is out, well, I'm going to explain that right now. What I do is I clean these studs up, and I'm going to weld a nut, depending on the size of the stud. I like to use a 3/8 nut, so I will be welding the nut to the stud so that I can extract it. The heat from the nut head, this is going to be glowing red, the heat from that will heat up the stud and loosen any debris inside the head, and once it cools off a little bit, I can put a socket, you know, I don't want to wait till it cools off a lot, but you can put a socket right onto the nut that I've welded on and back it right out. This doesn't always work because, you know, if you do this with a vehicle with a steel head, you're most likely going to weld the nut to the head, or you're gonna make a problem. In the case of this, where the stud is broken inside the hole, I will actually hit a couple beads with the welder to actually build it out, and then I can then in turn stick the nut over the part that's, you know, I'll lay a couple beads so that it builds up the stud, and I'll show you that. If I had someone else here, I'd be able to do all this and show you better, but I'm flying solo tonight, so bear with me. I do have my tripod, but I don't really want to get the camera up in here because I'm not trying to break my old lady's camera. She'd be really pissed at me. She's already mad at me today. That's why I'm here working on this tonight. Love you, babe. Yeah, so while I'm getting set up here, maybe I'll try to set this tripod up quick. And if you guys are wondering, I've got the collar off of the torch. Cleaning it. These pliers here are the best pliers if you do any welding. They're called Welpers. This just stands for Welder's Helper. These pliers are great. They're literally only meant to be used for welding. You know, you got a cutter here for cutting your wire. These long needle nose work great for, let's see if I can hold this. They work great for getting inside here, because you get, you know, slag buildup inside this thing. You know, so the nice clean copper, the weld isn't going to stick to that as much, and then you get on the tip, you're going to get slag buildup. So the hole right here is meant to perfectly fit around the tip and be cleaned like so. There's little grooves cut inside the pliers here to help clean this off. So I'm going to clean this off. I'm going to put it back together. One of my buddies just rolled up, but I'm going to pause this for a minute. Going to try to get it set up. Maybe I'll even have him hold the camera. So I'll be back in a minute. So anyways, guys, I've got this thing all cleaned out. Like I was saying, use the pliers, fucking clean it all out nice and good. These pliers work great. I got the ground. You can kind of see back here. I got the ground on one of the old studs to the head. The aluminum head is going to ground no matter what, but we're not going to be able to. We're not going to weld to the aluminum head because the wire in the welder is for welding steel. So the bolts that are snapped, the studs that are snapped off are steel. So we're going to be able to weld to those, and we're going to ground through the head, which is awesome. I don't got to try to, like, you know, ground that stud, or I used to sometimes put the ground right onto the nut and then fill the nut with weld. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to get in there. My buddy Fatty's recording. He's going to try to get me best he can welding in there. Sometimes I don't get it first try, sometimes I don't get it second try, sometimes it takes a couple, but I'm going to get the nut on there, we're going to lay a bead, we're going to fill this thing with weld, it's going to be glowing hot, and we're going to get the socket on there, and we're going to try to back the stud out. So put this glove on, I'm going to try to finagle my way in there. It's a little tight, especially when you're trying to record. I actually think I'm going to try to do this without a glove. I'm probably going to burn myself. Get up here. It's a good thing I'm a short person. Alright guys, here we go. Alright, I'm going to try to take these pliers off. Okay. Alright, see how that nut is glowing nice and red? If we've got good penetration onto the broken stud and a good solid weld, that nut should have heated it up enough so I can loosen it very easily. I'm going to grab my ratchet, and we have a 14 millimeter already on deck to hopefully screw this thing right out. And we didn't get good penetration, so it broke right off. That'll happen. Sometimes it happens. Not the end of the world. That's why we got more nuts here. So I'm going to actually clean that a little bit more. We're going to try it again. Like I said, sometimes I can get it first try. Sometimes it takes me a little while. I like to try to make a little chamfer around the head of the stud. That way it can come right out. You know, kind of eat away at the head a little bit, like dig a little hole almost around it. That way it comes right off. So let me get these vice grips all situated again and trim the wire. Thing is too, sometimes if you don't get good penetration on the stud, you're more or less just welding to the nut and you barely have anything on the stud. That's what just happened. It's alright. It may happen again. It may come right out, but it still fucking beats drilling. Third time's a charm, right? Oh, look at sweat inside that thing. Ah. Fucking gross. I'm already over summer. It's like 3 days in.
Try being fat.
Dude, I am fat. I don't even want to hear it. But yeah, dude, I feel your pain. Alright, that feels like... Oh, I don't know. I might have fucked up just by trying to tighten that. Oh, alright, it's definitely moving. Okay, so after about the 5th time, it's moving. I got it with some penetrating oil. I'm working it back and forth. And it, still going a little hard, but it's coming. Watch it break right at the end. I've had that fucking happen before, but at least it have threads exposed, and it's much easier than when it's flush or in the hole. I like a little bit of a challenge. Oh yeah, here she comes. I like a little bit of a challenge, so the next one is down in the hole. Like I said, sometimes they come right out. Sometimes they don't. Let me grab a rag. This thing's gonna be freaking hot. Let you guys... Freaking mosquitoes, damn it. Get an idea. Whew. And that's it. Sorry for the shaky camera, but we got that on the 5th try. Well, that's it, guys. Weld onto the nut. Now remember, do not try this with a steel head, because if it's a steel head, you're gonna weld to it. This setup like this for welding exhaust and shit, you know, steel, you're not gonna weld any non-ferrous metal, meaning non-magnetic, like aluminum, copper, or something like that. So we're gonna try for that bottom one, and yeah, once we get the bottom one out, we can put the manifold on. See what it sounds like. And wouldn't you know, the one that was down inside the hole is coming out on its first try. Hey there. I wish I could show you a little bit better. You can see this thing's turning oblong on me, which means I know that stud's turning, that I didn't get a nice straight weld on there. It may break off because I'm not straight, the nut might hit the head, but we know the stud is turning, which is good. Oh yeah, you can see it turning. It's great. I'm actually gonna get a Get a little shot of some weasel piss up in there. Any kind of penetrating oil, breakaway, PB blaster. This is my personal favorite. I get it here at work and only through work because BG products you cannot just go to the store and buy. You have to buy from BG. Enforce, this is some of the best penetrating oil I've ever used in my life. Some people say Croyle is pretty good. I've yet to try that. My local auto parts store does carry that. I do know some guys that like that Croyle. Get a little bit up on there. Stuff works wonders. I'm gonna get back in there. I'm gonna send that stud back in, and then I'm gonna try bringing it all the way out. Penetrating oil's working great. She's coming right out. I'm gonna switch hands here if I can. Give it a shot. Grab a rag. She's coming. A little hard, but that's it. She's out. There's the other one. You guys can see how crooked I got on that with the weld, but doesn't matter. There's enough penetration. She held, and that one came out first fucking try. So it just goes to show you. So we got 2 empty holes in the back. Normally I run a thread chaser down all these, especially if it's a steel head. In this case, it's not, and they're not too crappy looking. So that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and get the new manifold in there and tighten it up. Manifold is in, bolted up, shield is on. And that real quick. I just got to put in the inner shield and then bolt the fender flare on, which that kind of holds the inner fender. So yeah, we're gonna get that all bolted back up, and then I am going to throw my brake rotors on the brake lathe because they're pretty shitty. Okay guys, moment of truth. Exhaust is bolted up, wheels on. And I was gonna show you how to turn the rotors, but these rotors, the center hole's too big for my machine. But while I was there, I happened to find a broken ABS wire that we repaired. And ABS light should be off too now. Ooh, no more tick. And no more ABS light. Beautiful. Guess I should get some gas. I'm gonna drive this thing home tonight. Let's pull it out. Turn the air on. So I'm a fat fuck and I am still sweating like crazy. Just pump the brakes up. So I pushed the one caliper back a little bit. Figured I was gonna turn the rotors. Okay. Back her out. Sounds nice and quiet, guys. I'm impressed. I hear the fan running. That's about it. One more tick. Beautiful. All right, guys. I'm gonna wash up, get some gas. And yeah, that's it for tonight. Tomorrow, probably not gonna do any video. I gotta watch the kids. My old lady goes to work. I may do something. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe you guys want to see what it's like being a dad with twins. I don't know. So, yeah. Catch you guys tomorrow.